right, welcome back to another live episode at the Malmö Beer and Whiskey Festival. We're here with someone who most people would probably know by now who's in the brewing industry, but we're here with Jamil Zainashev of Heretic Brewing Company from California. Really great of you to be on the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
I started homebrewing in '99 and just made a crazy hobby of it, and then at some point quit my software job because I didn't want that anymore, and then decided to open a brewery. And so that's how I got here.
Nice. And you're also a part of the Brewing Network, right?
Yep. Been doing shows with the Brewing Network for at least 10 years now.
Yeah.
What's your podcast?
I do Brew Strong is one of them, and then I also do the Jamel Show, which has gone through many iterations, including Can You Brew It, Brewing with Style, bunch of different stuff. But yeah, enjoy doing them.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about the Heretic Brewing Company.
Heretic Brewing Company, we formed it in, we brewed our first beer May of 2011. And we started out sharing a building with a friend of mine. He wasn't able to get his brewery up and running, so I went in and finished off the build and got things up and running, and so I was able to use the equipment and brew our beer there and bring our fermenters in there and all that. So we've always brewed our beer from the start. Sometimes people think that means we contract brewed, which pisses me off to no end, because I wouldn't let anybody brew our beer ever but us. In fact, it's been me and Chris Kennedy, our head brewer, since day one, and we've worked on everything together since the very beginning, and that still hasn't changed. We've brewed every batch ourselves.
So you're here with Brew News 19 from Colson, right?
Yes.
So how did you get in touch with these guys?
I think that they invited me to speak at their craft brewer conference last year. And maybe they contacted me the year before or something, I don't know. But for some reason, I know them through that. I did the craft brewer conference last year, and I did it again this year. And I think it's absolutely an excellent conference, an excellent value. I'm very impressed with the quality of how it's done, and I'd say I'm impressed with the quality of information, but since I'm providing some of the information, I don't want to sound too...
Well, I'm sure it's great. So.
Yeah, I mean, and especially this year, the presenters, we really worked so well together and had such a great cover. Were you at the...
I couldn't get off work, so I came in quite late. I was only there from like 5 until the end, so I was there for the glass tasting, which was, I take it, one of the like lesser...
everyone was already done.
Yeah.
No, the conference was about yeast this year.
Yeah.
And boy, we really covered some great information, and I think it was useful for people that are starting out to people who have a lot of experience. I think there was some great info in there, and I was just really impressed that these guys, Dan Magnus and Magnus, pull this together, and they put a lot of effort into curating the content. I send them I do a lot of talks where they never ask to see my presentation, and I just go up and do whatever I do. Works out fine, but these guys, they want to see it and they want to comment on it, and they're like, it would be better if you did this or that. They look at it as somebody who's intently interested in the material being presented. They're not just putting it on, they're an attendee as well. And so they catch some of that stuff. It actually helps improve the presentations. So it's an impressive pair of guys that puts this on.
So we got your evil free glass.
Thanks to these guys again. They actually bring our beer over. So we have beer at the conference, and we have beer here at their booth at the festival, and I can't thank them enough. They're just the sweetest guys that really they live the whole thing about brewers helping brewers. They believe that to their core, which I think is really cool too.
I mean, it's a great thing to see your beers coming over here as well, because you don't distribute here normally.
No, they bring the beer in, and that's what happens. And, that's not their job, and they don't have to share their booth with me, but they do. I think that's really cool.
It is one of the great thing about the industry is that,
this is way above and beyond. I don't think anywhere else anybody would be doing this for me, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's good to have you here. So before we started recording, we were talking a tiny bit about getting into trends and we kind of nailed in a little bit on the hazy New England style IPAs.
Right.
So what's your take on that? On that booming trend right now?
Everyone thinks I hate, New England IPA, which couldn't be farther from the truth. Somebody went nuts on Twitter over my posting a beer that I hated. I would not reveal what brewery it was because I don't think that's necessary. But I was trying to point out that pouring me a 10-ounce glass of beer, where 1 ounce of it is solid yeast, and they're charging $10 a glass, is a ripoff. And why are they doing that? That sucks. Now, that doesn't mean I hate hazy beer. I don't really care if a beer is hazy or not. I mean, if a beer is supposed to be clear, fine. It's supposed to be clear, and it should be. If a beer is supposed to be hazy, fine, and then it should be hazy. And if it's clear, then that's a fault, or vice versa. I'm not here to define a style, but there are so many people that have seen this trend, and they are making some horrible beers, and because they're hazy, people are saying, oh, this tastes great, and they're thinking it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. They're doing a disservice to the whole New England IPA thing, where there are some tremendous beers that have a intense haze to them, but they're also, very soft and delicious, almost along the lines how you get a Belgian wit beer that can have that pillowy softness, that delicious kind of mouthfeel, but it's an IPA that is not aggressively bitter. It is more on the hop flavor end of the spectrum, and it has that pillowy softness, and it has bitterness, but not biting, not harsh. It's not yeasty. Yeah. And what some of these pathetic breweries are doing is it's just slammed full of half fermented wort, and it's there's just a ton of yeast that's settling out. And what the great breweries are doing, like Trillium and Treehouse, is they're making these beers where when you drink it, if you closed your eyes, you would not know it is hazy.
Yeah.
And I think people should just not judge a beer based on what it looks like and say, well, because it's hazy, it's no good, or because it's clear, it's no good. But they shouldn't also say, well, because it's hazy, it's good. And there's just people glomming onto this trend that has started, and it's people who just don't really know what they're doing, and you get these really super harsh, biting, chlorophyll bombs that it's bound up, and the tannins are bound up with the protein, and just very, very hard to drink, and it'll have some of them have a ton of yeast in them. You don't want to drink a bunch of yeast. Yeast is not what these great brewers are doing it with a protein tannin complex that gives it a haze, but they've also, water control, various things that give it this soft, delicious kind of character. And that's a great beer. There's just so many bad examples, and people are so gaga over them and lining up for them that I just I can't stand. I find that's terrible.
Yeah, it's basically the fact that haze right now equals something great. It's kind of what it's doing.
Right. Yeah, no, it's just like saying, well, a beer's clear, so it's great.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Doesn't have
not
to be.
true. Right.
Exactly.
You can filter the living daylights out of a beer, strip everything out of it. It can still be, it can be sour, it can be half fermented.
Yep.
It's just I'm seeing more of this half fermented, not great beer that's being, trumped up under, this haze moniker. So I don't have a problem with the hazy beer. And I was just in Boston and had some delicious, New England IPA. Really enjoyed it. And planning on doing a show about it. Actually, we started talking about it. Yeah.
Nice.
So I think we just need to promote what a good example tastes like.
Yeah.
Where people aren't, so people will know what could be great about them.
And also they can identify a bad New England IPA from a good New England IPA.
Right. It's not just about the haze. The haze is just
Haze is
part of the
it.
process. It's part of the technique that is resulting in this beer they're making, and it happens to be hazy because of what they're doing. It's not, I'm going to make a hazy beer, and therefore it's going to be great. That's not how they're approaching it.
So the Evil Free.
Yeah.
Where does the name come from? It's you. It's Tasty.
And Mitch Steele.
Yeah.
Right. So we've been.
Is this a 1 year release, or is it something that you can
We only do
continually?
it. We only do it once a year.
Yeah.
So
we're really lucky to be getting it here.
Oh yeah. We've been friends for quite a while, and so this is actually our fourth batch. We, 1 year we decided we should do a collaboration, and we opened the new brew house in Fairfield, and so we get together once a year around New Year's and brew this collab together. Mitch is always there, Tasty's always there. We actually do it and adjust the recipe and make all our tweaks. And so this is our fourth time, and the Evil 3 is just because there's three of us.
Yeah.
And hoppy beers, we tend to call them evil. So
You have the Evil Cousin.
right, evil cousin, evil twin.
Yeah.
And so with the Evil 3, I mean, we just decided what should we make, and it's like, well, three of us, triple IPA. I mean, it just made perfect sense. So we're like, all right, triple IPA. So originally it was actually supposed to be Evil Cubed, but you'd be shocked at the number of consumers that do not know what cubed means. Superscript 3, they're like, what is cubed? And so a lot of people will just say Evil 3, and so we just started calling it Evil 3 instead of Evil Cubed. I think the first release we called it Evil Cubed, and then we gave up. Like, all right, Evil 3. It's more like a movie poster thing. And so this is our fourth year. 11.5%, 100 IBUs, and I'm telling you, is that not the smoothest 11.5%, 100 IBU beer
I
you
was
ever
just
had?
going to say that. You cannot tell that this is 11.5%. And I didn't even know the IBUs until when you said it just now, but it's very well hidden.
Right. Well, and like we're talking about New England IPA. It can be bitter without being harsh.
Exactly.
This is what we're doing in the Evil 3. It's very bitter. It's as much hop alpha acids as you can dissolve in beer is in there.
Yeah.
But it's a smooth bittering.
Exactly.
It's not
the
harsh.
harsh bitterness.
Right.
You're getting that smooth bitterness from it, and you cannot taste any booziness on it at all.
Yeah. So
really a great example of a triple IPA.
People, the most common phrase I hear is dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I
very,
can see
very
that.
dangerous.
Yeah, I can see that.
You pour a pint and you start drinking it. It tastes like IPA. You're like, yeah.
It's a pint that puts you on the floor.
Right.
Yeah, that would be rough.
It is. We have a lot of fun with it, and this year we actually made some significant changes. This year we did Amarillo, Citra, and Simcoe are the hops this year.
Nice. It's a great combo.
Yeah, oh yeah. And our crop of Amarillo, Citra, and Simcoe this year are spectacular, and that's why we chose those three. We used to use Australian summer hops, and we're just, trending it. Each year we just make tweaks to it. It's like when you get together with your friends, and you're like, oh, what should we eat, or what should we cook? You make little tweaks.
Same thing with the Evil Freak.
Yeah.
So will we see more Heretic Brewery beers on the shelves or in Scandinavia on tap from here on? Or?
Well, if somebody brings them in and distributes them, sure. Right.
You said you have a tap takeover coming up in Copenhagen.
Right. So Thursday, March 30th, 2017, at Tap House, they're doing 22 of our beers there.
Wow.
And I'll be there. It's we're gonna have some sours on. I think our British low ABV beer will be there. I think we got like Doppelbock. I think we got some lagers. I think we got a little bit of everything. So that's kind of cool. It's a bunch of beers that don't make it over here hardly ever. So you get a chance.
Nice. All right, that's so weird.
Hazelnut porter or shallow grave?
What? Will they have a shallow grape? Oh.
Hazelnut porter or shallow grave?
Oh, I'm more a shallow grape guy. The chocolate hazelnut porter is great.
I think it's that one.
Yeah, but I trend more towards the shallow grape.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
A pleasure.
Appreciate it. That's okay. No problem at all. Yeah, we know which one he prefers now. So if we want to get something else, we know what to get.
Oh God.
Thanks a lot.
Sure. Thank you.